Rodgers' attempt to beat his former team fell short as Jordan Love outdueled his mentor in a 35-25 win. Love took it to my Steelers, throwing for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Packers now lead the NFC with a 5-1-1 record. Yesterday on the show, Damian Woody gave his thoughts on how far this Packers team can go.
If Jordan Love's going to play like he played last night, I think we're going to end up finding the Green Bay Packers playing in Santa Clara in February. That's how good this Green Bay Packers team is. Yes, you heard me correct. If Jordan Love played like he played last night, the Green Bay Packers would find themselves in Santa Clara.
CC, can Jordan Love lead the Packers to the Super Bowl this year?
Absolutely. I completely wholeheartedly agree with what Damian Woody said. It was clear on Sunday night that the Green Bay Packers have got a gear that most teams in the NFL can't get to, right? You saw Jordan Love turn it on in that second half, completing 20 straight passes,
against the Steelers defense,
tying a franchise
against
record.
The Steelers defense.
I hear what you're saying, but Cowboys playoff win aside, that might have been the most complete performance that we've seen from J-Lo, right? 360 yards passing, 3 tutties, that was unbelievable. But the part that makes me believe in the Green Bay Packers is that defensively, they can make it happen. They identified what they needed for Jeff Hafley's unit, and they added it before the season in Micah Parsons. That group on Sunday night had 9 total pressures against Aaron Rodgers, 5 quarterback hits, and 3 sacks, despite Aaron Rodgers having a 2.77 average snap-to-throw time and only blitzing once in 39 dropbacks. If you can stop the run, if you can apply pressure with 4 without having a blitz, then all of a sudden you got the makings of a championship-caliber defense. The Green Bay Packers can do that.
Yeah, listen, I was impressed with them, and you're right about Love, 100%. But I still think Philly, I still think Stafford with the Rams, I still think Detroit would have to be considered the favorites over Green Bay to get to a Super Bowl. You can't put them number 1. I agree with your premise. That's a dark horse team. Parsons is having a great year. And Love the other day looked great. That tight end's good, too. That Tucker Kraft is great.
Right.
But I'm not ready to say that they are the team to beat out of the NFC.
So who are we who are we comfortable putting ahead of Green Bay in the NFC?
Philadelphia and Detroit for me.
Detroit, if the back end of that defense gets healthy. But right now, they're not healthy.
What about the Rams?
No.
Why not?
I don't think the Rams have enough balance, and I think the back end of that defense is suspect.
What about Seattle, considering what you've said about their defense?
No balance on the offensive side of the ball. They got to be able to run the football in order for me to have confidence in that.
So you don't have confidence that Seattle can run the football?
No, they can't.
And Philadelphia?
Not even they can't. They literally can't.
Philadelphia, when the chips are in the
Talk to me about Philadelphia when they resolve the A.J. Brown problem. That has been an ongoing issue, and I get it. They won the Super Bowl last year with said issue. But when A.J. Brown comes out days after winning the chip and says that he doesn't feel the way that he thought it would feel, when he comes out after having his most productive receiving day and subtweets using me but not using me, there is clearly a problem when it comes to chemistry and A.J. Brown in there. And that's why I'm skeptical that the Philadelphia Eagles can repeat as champs, and I think it's more of what we saw in 2023.
I will say this. I want to see what Green Bay does against Detroit after smacking Detroit around the way they did in opening week. Let's see what they do in the rematch and then come talk to me.
Are the best team in the NFC. Is that an overreaction?
It's not. I thought they were going into the season. I think when we've seen them at their best, which is, I would say, in 3 of their games so far this year, they've looked dominant. They look like the kind of team that can get to the Super Bowl. Superstars on defense, obviously Micah Parsons, Jordan Love playing at a high level, 20 different guys he can throw to on any play. I think when the Packers are humming like they were Sunday night, they are the best team in the NFL.
On that one, next one for Graziano. If I were to say the Baltimore Ravens, who have 2 wins, are going to win the AFC North, is that an overreaction?
No. In fact, I would go so far as to say they should win the AFC North. Pittsburgh is coming back to the pack. Baltimore Ravens getting healthier. Lamar Jackson, I believe, will be back for Thursday night's game, which is against Miami, and that's a point to stress. The Baltimore Ravens schedule starts to get a little easier looking. They don't play a team that currently has a winning record until December 7th. And that team is the Steelers, and the way they're going, they might not still have a winning record by December 7th. So Baltimore has an opportunity here, even at 2-5.
And the best news, to your point, is they play the Steelers twice, so they have two more chances
they can make up both
to
games.
beat them. Not only does ESPN Bet Sportsbook not think it's an overreaction, they think it's a lock.
Yeah.
They have minus 110. They're an odds-on favorite, Jeffrey. Are you buying it? Ravens going to come all the way back from 1-5 to win the division.
2 weeks ago, I said absolutely not. The way the Steelers have played, the way they played against the Bengals and on Thursday night and played poorly, and then Green Bay took them to task in the second half. What do you bet? You can't bet your house on the Steelers defense right now. Lamar Jackson coming back.
And the Ravens are the team that you could trust of this group, and their defense has played better in back-to-back weeks. That was the big question. They played good against the Bears last week and also against that high-powered Rams offense. They played well there, even though they lost that game. That's the part that's most important to me. I know when Lamar comes back, the offense is going to be good. Can the defense hold strong? And I think they can.
Greeny, you said it Friday. This past weekend for the Ravens, it was either going to be the end or the beginning of something. They won that game with Snoop Huntley, looked a lot better, not only defensively, but offense as well, with Snoop running it, getting Lamar back, going back to the crib to play in the 305. The Ravens are looking pretty.
Steelers Nation Wire, lean in and listen close, because today we face the truth head on and then choose the standard, not the excuse. Yes, Green Bay hit us with a 35-25 gut punch on Sunday night. Jordan Love threw for 360 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a franchise-tying run of 20 straight completions that flipped the script in the second half. But this is Pittsburgh. We've taken storms on the chin before. We process, we adjust, and then we hit back harder the next week. This game carried weight before kickoff. Aaron Rodgers, our quarterback, stood across from his old colors under the lights, chasing a rare chance to beat all 32 teams. It wasn't just another Sunday. It was a test of where this offense stands in year one of the Rodgers era, and whether this defense still has that Pittsburgh heartbeat. The scoreboard says we were humbled, but the film says our answers are still in our hands. Credit to Green Bay. Their second-half surge was an avalanche. Tight end Tucker Kraft had a career-high 143 yards and 2 TDs, and their quick-release plan neutralized our pressure. We lost rhythm when Deshaun Elliott went down with a knee injury and Daniel Eckwely's season ended, and communication wobbled on the back end. Yet that's not who we are. It's just a snapshot in a storm. National voices said Pittsburgh is coming back to the pack. They're wrong. This is still a 4-3 team that's led in 4 of its last 5 second halves, battled through injuries, and stands a game off the AFC pace. The defense needs to finish. The offense must turn red zone trips into touchdowns. But this roster hasn't forgotten who it is. When this city gets cornered, it swings back. There were bright spots. Chris Boswell was automatic from deep. DK Metcalf and Roman Wilson showed why this receiver room was built for cold weather football, and Arthur Smith's system quietly proved its potential. Heavy personnel, play-action threats, and physical routes that punish defenses late. The identity is forming. It just needs consistency in the finish. The defense has to reclaim its ferocity. Elliott's injury changes coverage, disguise flexibility. Eckwely's loss tightens rotation. But next man up isn't a slogan here. It's reality. That means tighter fits, quicker hands, and more precise tackling. The fourth quarter collapse, outscored 21-0, isn't a death sentence. It's the lesson. Win early downs, control the clock, and keep Rodgers clean. Those corrections can flip games in a week. Now comes the real test. The Colts at Acrisure. They're 7-1, disciplined and physical, the perfect opponent to test our response. Our offensive line must set the tone from snap one. Tight ends must make it a trench fight. Receivers must earn yards after catch and force adjustments. Defensively, we must set the edge, squeeze gaps, and make their quarterback earn every inch. Leadership remains the anchor. Mike Tomlin, extended through 2027, is built for this moment. He's seen worse storms, and every ugly Sunday night in his tenure has turned into a focused, furious next weekend. The standard isn't changing. Injuries sting, but Sumalo, Harrison, and the rest will battle back. The fix is in discipline, not desperation. The blueprint is clear. On offense, start fast, hit hard, and stop settling for 3. On defense, create timely havoc. 1 takeaway, 1 stop, One drive flipped. Divisions aren't won by highlight reels in October. They're claimed by grinding physical wins when the leaves fall. Steelers Nation, I won't sugarcoat it. The second half in Green Bay wasn't worthy of the crest. But the most Pittsburgh thing imaginable is to let the league gloat for 24 hours and then slam the door shut the next Sunday. You could see the fire in Boswell's kicks, feel it in the sideline energy. This team isn't fragile, it's frustrated, and that frustration becomes fury on the field. So here's my challenge. Sound off in the comments. What's the one change that flips those fourth quarters? More heavy sets, more tempo, more blitz disguise? Hit like if you feel that same fire and subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire and be ready Sunday when we go live postgame. We'll take the doubt, the injuries, the noise, and turn it into a statement. That's the Pittsburgh way. See you at Acrisure.